Alright, in this final video we're going to set up a character to get ready for animating inside of Unity. Now there's a couple different ways in Unity you can go about this. You can create a sprite sheet that does your animations and bring that into Unity. Or you can create your pieces for your character to animate and actually animate it inside of Unity. And that's how we're going to set this up. Now if anyone here is familiar with how we've done our Max and Maya training, you will remember the talented ball, which is the very first project that we do in either Maya or Max. And we're going to use the talented ball in our game here. So I am going to create him in a 2D fashion that will let us animate him in our game. Now in our 3D training, the talented ball has no feet or legs. He's just a little yellowish ball with some brown hair and a black tuxedo on who's going to perform on a stage. So we're going to get kind of close. We are going to give him some extra stuff. So I'm going to create another layer, still in a 1024, and just click him in here somewhere, which preferably would be with my brush setting on. Hard brush. Yeah, we'll be just fine right there. And what I'm going to kind of do is build him, and then I'll separate the pieces at the end, and we'll see what that means once we get there. Alrighty, so we've got our little yellow circle, and now we're going to name our layers because we could get going a ways here. We're going to call this body. And next we're going to create his suit, I think. So I'm going to click and hold body so that I get this circle. I'm going to create a new layer. And I think I'm going to come in then. This time let's use our polygon lasso tool. Because I want his suit to have a bit of a downward angle to it. So it looks a little bit, gives a feeling of a collar more. So we'll start up around here somewhere. And maybe down around here. And then I'm going to realize I screwed that up. Because I need to subtract that selection. So I'm going to hold Alt. I'm going to click. Get the angle I want here. Then I can just click up around and finish that off to subtract that out. So now I've got this nice little section here. And we will already set to white, so that's fine. We'll go ahead and dump that white in. And then we will come back. And we're going to basically do the same thing again. So now what we have left is this. And we're going to take our white and go to completely black. And we're going to fill that in. Alright, we're coming along alright. Now let's go back to our brush setting. Really shrink that down. Somewhere right around there, I think. And let's put some black on there. So let's grab our little polygon lasso tool. And And let's bucket that in. Alright, we've got him wearing his tuxedo. So now we're doing alright there. And this is going to be part of the body, so I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down now. I'm going to come back to my dodge tool. And I'm going to lighten that up just a little. Second thought, let's wait to do that because I want the highlights in his hair too. So let's do the hair next. So we'll create another layer, and we're going to collapse all these layers. We're always working on a new layer, just so that we can not destroy what we're already happy with. Alright, so we'll just come up, and once again we're going to select this. And I'm going to click some brown here. Basically, I'm going to build an interesting curve into this. It's brown there. Just kind of fill this in. Shrink this down a little bit. You can see where I'm kind of matching the edge of the circle to where it's already painted. Just start building that out. And it's not perfect, but at the distance that it'll be visible, it doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, so I think that'll do us. We will collapse that down. Now we will bring in our highlights. And bring in a little darkness here. That's pretty good. So all in all, our guy is looking alright. And last, well, not last, but last for the body, we'll call this mouth. And let's see, how do we want to do this? I think for the mouth, we'll make it a lips. Something like that. And it was a nice bright red in the video, so we'll do that. That's not too bad. Kind of edit this a little bit. Now we can come in here and select this. And we're going to hit Control-Shift-I once again to invert that selection, so that now everything on the outside is selected, and hit Delete. And now we got that mouth ready to go. Alright, next let's set up another layer, and let's call this one right, or R I black Basically, we're going to do the same thing we did for the mouth. Except now we're going to fill it in with black. So you can kind of see where all of this is going. Then I'm going to make another one. I'll call this RI white. Well, as long as it's actually selected, RI white. And I'm going to come up here and do a select, modify, contract. Probably 8. See what 15 pixels does. Could have done more than that. So we're just going to do it again. Nah, I don't like that. You know what we're going to do? We're just going to pull it out again ourselves. Eye it up. Make that all white. Fill that in. Alrighty. Now, we're going to take each one of those layers and we're going to duplicate it. Then we're going to shrink it a little. Hold down Shift so it's uniform. And now we can animate the eyes any way we want. I'm going to grab all of these 4. And I'm going to right click and go to Group from Layers. Call this Eyes. So these things are just a little bit easier to deal with. But now we can move these around however we like. Now we're going to keep on repeating this. Now let's do our hands first. Go back to Brush. I'm going to make a new layer. This right hand. Our hands are going to be very, very simple. I'm even happy with that brush size at right around 100. So I'm just going to click on here, get a nice white, switch it over to black, take that brush down, very small, and I'm going to hold down Control just so I don't go anywhere weird with it. And then I am going to click right around the middle line. Well, middle line, right around where the middle is. A little bit higher than center, but along that line. And I'm just going to click and hold Shift and pull it down. Then I'm going to split the distance between the edge and that line, and I'm just going to do it again. And the same thing on the other side. And that'll be his little hand, and we can take that and spin that as we like, whatever we want to do. And we're going to end up making a duplicate of that. Control J. Call that left hand. So we got that out there. And now we are going to take our circle again. Pull it out in an oval. And then I'm going to switch this over to a rectangle because I want it to come perfectly flat and I don't want to trust my hand to that. I'm going to hold down Alt, and somewhere right about halfway, I'm just going to pull that out over it, get rid of it, bucket this in with black, undo it because I want to do that on a new layer. Now bucket it in with black, call this right foot, and I'm going to go back to my dodge tool. Click it over to shadows. And because I'm using a perfect black, it's going to be problematic. So let's just go to our brush tool. Bring this up. We're going to grab our soft brush here. Going to go to a white. I'm going to take my opacity way down. 20%. Same with my flow. I'm just going to highlight some edges in there. Duplicate that layer. Grab my move tool. Just so I can kind of see what's going on. I actually want my left foot below that. Same with my left hand. Take my left foot, Control T, just so I can shrink that down a little bit. And then realize I screwed up. Alright, now, this is what I did wrong with this. And this is a great way to show it. We've got our foot over here, and you see how it's nice and black? I forgot to grab my selection of my black before I painted in my white. So you really can't see anything wrong with that right now. If I drag this over, you can see there's a bunch of semi-transparent white on my transparency. Well, it looks fine here, but the minute I get it in my game where there's a color behind it, that's going to be a problem. So we're going to delete both those layers. Oops. Delete the right layer. We're going to do it again. I'll go a little faster since we've already seen this done. And switch back over to my square. There we go. Now, we still got that selected. And there we go. Control T. I think I actually want that foot to be a little bit bigger. And maybe a little bit taller, more curved. That's fine. Control J. I really just want these for comparison. There we go. We don't have him right under him, but we do have them set up so we can kind of see what we're doing. So now, this one's going to be left foot. And right foot. So now we have our character. Now we need to make this so that we can separate these out once we get them in the game and cut them into different little chunks of sprites. So we're going to come down, take our body, I'm just going to bring that up here in the corner. Oops. Now our mouth, this depends on what you want to do. If you actually want to have an animated mouth, so he makes a grimace or a smile or something like that, you're going to want to leave this separate. In fact, you're probably going to want to reshape it with copies and have multiple copies of it on your sprite sheet. But I'm just going to leave this guy like this, so I'm going to collapse him down all into one thing. Now I'm going to move my body up here. I'm going to open up my eyes. Oops. Hold on. Our left hand. Got our right hand. Got our left foot. And our right foot. And we have our character ready to export. Now, what you're seeing me do here, I'm going to save this out as a targa. And what you're seeing me do here, we can take a lot of that other stuff in any form that you wanted to do that. Maybe it's like all of your background forest stuff. And you can create a 1024 texture sheet or 2048 or whatever you're working with. And you can bring in those other pieces and scale them down to size and create a texture sheet like this and then bring it into Unity and cut that all up, which you guys will get to see in our free Unity training. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this series on how to make 2D art for Unity, even if you don't have any artistic skill at all. And hopefully we'll see you on the site. Thanks again.